How's everybody doing? This is Pete. We're over at D.I.Y. Auto School today. And what you're looking at, I want to show you this. I want you to look inside there. Let's go ahead and get the camera where it's... There you go. Do you see that? Do you see what's going on? Look at that. So, I'm going to put that right here. And what we're doing, we're not sandblasting. We're not buying chemical type stuff. What we're doing is we are cleaning all of our rusted nuts. Let me show you. Okay. Rusted nuts, rusted bolts. We got a whole bunch of them in here. We're going to save ourselves money. We're going to make these bolts and nuts look brand new. They're going to be just like coming out of the factory. These are all the bolts that actually, you know what, hang on, let me open this door. And then I'm going to go ahead and set this outside. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Alright, the reason I'm going to set that outside is because the chemical that we are using is the most extreme chemical that will eat the rust and the gunk and the filth to the maximum. Now you can buy this stuff at your big box lumberyard store. You don't have to have a license to get it. You don't have to do anything. It's a chemical that will just bash the competition down. It's not a chemical. It's not some type of gimmick where you go to Harbor Freight and you get the rust remover liquid. That's bullshit, alright? What it's called, let me show you what it's called here. This is very dangerous, it's very toxic, and I'm going to show you that. It's called muriatic acid. This will remove all the rust, and it will completely clean all your old nuts and bolts. It will make them brand new.
Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
So, you just saw what was happening in that other cup. You saw the chemical oozing and bubbling, and that's the muriatic acid working. Now, what I do is I take 2 cups. Now, these are paint cups. And I got nuts and bolts in one, and that's about how many I put in a cup. I don't fill it all the way up to the top. I go about halfway, all right? And then I will go ahead and double the cup up, because if this cup has a pinhole leak in it, what's going to happen is that's going to leak everywhere. And we don't want that. This is muriatic acid. This is highly dangerous stuff. You don't even really want to breathe this stuff in. That's why I set it outside out here. You can see it just eating the rot off of our hardware. Now, one more thing that you really need to pay attention is you don't want to drip or get that stuff. I'm sorry, it's right here. You don't want to get this on your concrete, because if you put it on concrete and you don't wash it off, it'll literally eat the concrete. This muriatic acid is literally, actually, believe it or not, made to clean concrete. But if you leave it on there too long, it will pit your concrete, it will eat it, and it will rot it. When you use this on concrete or anything else, you're supposed to dilute it with water. We're using this stuff 100% straight. I want to show you something. What does that say right there? Do you see that? Do you see that right there? That says danger. They ain't bullshitting around. So I'm going to show you what this does. And this bolt, all these bolts that I am cleaning go to a 1975 Chevy truck bed. Alright, this holds all the bed sides on, the back, the front wall, everything. I was going to go ahead and clean these, which I still might, but these are pretty used and abused. I mean, you can see right here, this was actually welded to it. So I'm going to see about buying brand new bed bolts. And if I can't buy brand new bed bolts, then we'll go ahead and use these, but I really don't want to, so we will keep those for later usage. So let's get the camera over here. I want to show you, and we want to be very careful of this because we don't want that splashing on our camera. And then I'm going to open up my muriatic acid. I'm going to be very careful and pour it slowly because I don't want it to splash. And then as you see it now, this is a clear liquid, but watch what happens. Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see what's going on here, guys? Alright? It is eating the rot. Okay, we got to put a little bit more in there. And you don't want to breathe those fumes in. Those fumes are very toxic. Very, very toxic. You want to stay away or wear a mask while you're doing this, or at least have a door open where fresh air. So we're going to let this sit for approximately 4 or 5 hours, and then when we come back, I'm going to show you how to deactivate muriatic acid, and because there's a certain way that you have to kill the chemical. Water does not do it. Water doesn't do it. There's another chemical that will kill it and rid it. So what we're going to do now, we're going to set these outside with the other one, and then in about 4 hours, 5 hours, we'll come back and deactivate the muriatic acid. And look at that. Do you see that? Look at it. Look. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So actually, I'm not going to put them outside because it's actually raining, and I don't want this to fill up. I don't want the cups to fill up and then start dripping all over my concrete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on this shelf right here until I get back, and then later on this evening we'll clean those off, and I'll show you the other chemical to use to deactivate the muriatic acid. Alright, these have been soaking for approximately 24 hours, and I actually had some other nuts and bolts that I had to clean up. They were rotted and rusted. So what we're going to do now is we are going to pour the acid back into the old container, which is right here. So very carefully, we're going to get as much as we can out. And I'm going to take this, try to hold these bolts back. Then we'll do it with this one. And then we'll go ahead and get this one. You can see that the acid has turned green. That is because it ate all of the rot and the rust off of the bolts. Now I'm going to go ahead and tell you this, and I want you to listen close. Cleaning your nuts and bolts this way can be dangerous. So you got to really take caution of what's going on. So I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to get the lid, put it on top of here, tighten it very tight. Whew, that is some nasty stuff, people. Normally I would be wearing a mask, but I'm making this video. We're going to go very quickly with it, and we're going to bring the camera over here, and I'm going to show you. Do you see that right there? Look at that. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to stack them up just like this. We're going to go outside, we're going to rinse them off with water. Now that we've done that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take acetone, what you're looking at right here, and we are going to let them sit in acetone just like this. And we're going to let those sit in acetone for approximately 3 to 4 hours, and what that's going to do, that's going to kill, that will kill the acid completely, 100%. So I want to show you, look at this right here. Do you see that? It completely took every bit of rot and rust off of, let me show you some nuts and bolts here. Acetone isn't going to hurt your skin. Look at that nut and look at that bolt. Completely cleaned it brand new. Alright, here's a big giant one. Let's look at that. Look at this. This looks like a brand new bolt. Brand new bolt, brand new washer. Give you a gander inside here. It didn't eat this rubber. We're not going to reuse this rubber, but there's a screw inside that rubber that we need. So, completely ate all the rust of all the nuts and bolts that was in here. Look at this. So we're going to let these sit for approximately, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. And then, once that's done, our bolts are completely cleaned. Now at that time, we have the option, we can go ahead and paint those black, leave them bare metal, do whatever we want to do. We can clear coat them to keep them that metal color that they are. Just whatever you want to do to them. But, instead of throwing your old rusty bolts away, and here's a bolt right here, let's get that out of there, show you how clean it is. Look at that. Looks brand new. So instead of throwing your old rusty bolts away and ordering new bolts and nuts and washers and getting these high-end expensive kits, this is the way to do it with some of this stuff right here. And I'm going to tell you again, this stuff is dangerous. You got to be very, very careful and cautious with it. And I want to show you something else that is dangerous about this stuff. So when I put the acid into the cups, You saw that smoke rise. You saw it rise up on the film here. And that smoke was actually an intensified mist coming out of the cup. Now, I took those cups after I filmed the first part of the video, and I set them on this shelf right here. So if we turn around, you can see there's a car sitting in the other room all the way over there. Let's go over there and look at that. I stripped that car to bare metal last week, and I want to show you what that mist did to this car. Now, it ain't going to hurt this car, but I want to show you what happened. If you look real close, you can see it's got a light dust of rust on it. It's got a light dust of orangish color variance. And what that's from that mist in the air came and settled on this car, and that's what it did. It started actually eating the metal on the car. So this car isn't ruined. It didn't ruin the car. Nothing's wrong with it. I just want to show you that how dangerous this muriatic acid is. And you can see by putting the acetone in there, it's still cleaning. You can see how it's still cleaning. See how it's like a orangish color? That means that it's killing the acid and it's still cleaning the metal. And this one here looks like it's really clean. But this one here, it was rough. So we're going to leave those. I actually have another one right here. And we'll leave those just like that. And then all the nuts and bolts that we need to put our 75 Chevy truck back together, front end, all the nuts and bolts to go on this front end, and then all the nuts and bolts to go to this bed, and of course even our door hinges will be brand new, spanking clean. Now remember, this is what they look like. This was what they looked like. They were rotted, they were rusted, and looked like shit. So yeah. So the next time you have a batch of rusted, rotted nuts and bolts, and you want them cleaned thoroughly, 100%, consider this action right here. But I will tell you right now, you better beware. You better beware. Vapors are harmful, may be fatal if swallowed, may cause blindness if splashed in eyes. Keep out of reach of children. This is Y2K. Children are very old these days. They can go all the way up to being 50, 60 years old and still be children living with grandma and grandpa and mommy and daddy. Very dangerous, people, but very effective as well.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.